Hey, welcome back to Evil's Comics. This guy right here is Evil Mike, or Mike if you prefer. And I got a review for you today. From Dynamite Comics, we're going to be talking about Gargoyles, issue number 1. It is written by Greg Weisman, art by Goerge, Kambadais, and he also did the colors, and then letter by Jeff Eckleberry. The cover is also David Nakayama. It's the cover A. There is a gallery in all Dynamite comics. They usually have a gallery of all the different variants. This book right here it goes all the way to Z. I'm not playing. They popped off with artists, all kind of different variant covers. So if you are interested, if you didn't get the cover that you wanted, check that out. Before we get started, please like, comment, subscribe for this guy's channel. Hit that bell. You never know when I'm dropping new reviews or new videos. And all the comments and hearts and likes and all that stuff helps. No hearts. But let's get into the review. The first thing I can say is this book does a really good job with kind of not really catching you up, but just kind of like putting all the characters and setting the stage. A lot of books that kind of touch base on stuff that hasn't been touched in like 20 years. In my opinion, some of these books haven't done a good job. This book actually does. I myself have not watched Gargoyles since it came on TV back in the day. I was not a huge fan, but a fan. My brother was a bigger fan than I was, but I loved all those Disney afternoon cartoons: Darkwing, Gargoyles, Tailspin, Rescue Rangers. But the book does start out and it gives you like a brief description of who the Gargoyles are. It's basically stone by night and stone by day, warriors by night. They're gargoyles, and they were cursed by these humans like 1,000 years ago, and they're for some reason in Manhattan. They have reactivated, and now during the day they are stone. At nighttime they come to life. The book is narrated by our human character, and her name is Elsa Maza. Most of these characters, I've forgotten their names, who they were, and stuff like that. So I will say the book does a really good job of like, hey, this is that person, this is what they're doing in the story. And I do want to say that this takes place kind of after like the end of the series. I'm not positive, don't quote me on that, but it does feel like it. But basically she's narrating the book, and then she's got our partner Matt Bloodstone. They are both detectives for the Manhattan PD, and basically she starts stating that just nights in Manhattan are crazy, and it's really because of the whole gargoyle thing. And they show you right off the bat the gargoyles show up, and the detectives are currently like trying to catch these ATM bandits, and while they're on the chase for the bandits, that's when the gargoyles show up. They quickly apprehend all 3 criminals, and then they kind of leave them before the regular cops get there, the beat cops. Beat cops get there, and they do make an assessment like that this one detective caught all 3 of those guys, and he's like, yeah, well, my partner was there, but supposedly she had the night off, so she wasn't supposed to be there, kind of thing. So the beat cops are kind of like, you caught all 3 of these guys without any kind of backup. The book shows you the headquarters of the Gargoyles, which happens to be, I'm forgetting the Erie building. It's the Erie building at the very top. It's the tallest tower in Manhattan, and also has a massive castle at the very cherry top of the building, and that's where the Gargoyles live. At this point in the book, we find out, if you don't remember or don't know, that Elsa and Goliath, the main gargoyle, are a couple. She does state that it's weird and everything, that it has its complications, but as far as relationships goes, it's one of the better ones she's experienced. And in the book, kind of catches you up with all the other gargoyles. It does mention that 2 of the other main gargoyles are on a mission at the moment, and they will show up. But then it kind of goes into like who all these other characters are. And we got Brooklyn, and then for me, this is a brand new character, but supposedly they met this character in feudal Japan. Her name is Katana, and then both Brooklyn and Katana have a son named Nashville, but he likes to be called Nash with the silent G. This is, I always forget, but this is, and I'm really bad with names anyways, but that's Lexington, Lex. It's Brooklyn's, I think he has two brothers. It's Lex, and yeah, it's this guy right here. And these two are also a couple, but I think this is Goliath's daughter. But the other brother is named Broadway, and that's Angela, Goliath's daughter, and they're a couple. The last two members are, they do mention them, and they do show them later on. It's Cold Stone and Coldfire, and they are also a couple. There are some jokes about the human dating a gargoyle thing, but the gargoyles kind of state that it's just happy that they're in love kind of thing. It doesn't matter what it looks like. At this point, the book kind of catches you up with, like, I guess where the show left off, and it kind of starts talking about this guy named Tony Dracon, and which is this guy, and then this other guy right here, and his name is Thomas Broad. They're basically big gangsters in Manhattan, and the gargoyles and the cops actually caught the two leaders of these big gangs and put them into jail, and they also put them in jail, like in the same jail cell, thinking it would be funny. This kind of had a negative effect in the world, because now there's a huge power vacuum where everybody's scrambling to grab the two seats of these big mobsters. So now Manhattan is just basically under gang fire from both gangs, but now there's a whole bunch of new gangs showing up, and that's kind of where the book catches you up. They show you a bunch of different, situations where, like, cops are in between, like, the next leader of this gang and the next leader of this gang, and then we finally do get to meet Coldfire and what is it, Coldstone and Coldfire, and I'm assuming this is Coldstone and that's Coldfire. It's stated that he is half zombie and half, like, cyborg, and then she is like she's basically just all robot. Them two specifically, I don't remember at all. I do recognize their appearance, but as far as, like, their characters and who they were in the show, I don't even remember that. But basically they kind of show you what they were doing, and they basically broke in, like, with these other gangs. It's the two same gangs that are against each other, and they're kind of talking about how the two gangs weren't even bothered that two gargoyles showed up, and not just regular gargoyles like cyborg robot gargoyles and zombie, but they weren't even bothered by that. They, like, kind of shot at them for like a second, and then they just kind of went back to killing each other and stuff, and eventually the two gargoyles had to set the place on fire so all the humans couldn't kill each other anymore. But it's just kind of demonstrating the whole, like, how the gangs and how bad they are and how bad it's getting, that they don't even care that monsters are showing up. They're that busy trying to kill each other. The book at this point kind of goes into, like, and I'm just showing you, like, random pages, but the book at this point kind of, like, it's all about, like, this other part of the story, and supposedly, like, I think it's Elsa's, like, niece or something like that, or no, it's she's about to have a niece, but her brother did some experiment, and he was turned into this thing right here, which is like half cat, half eel, half it's panther, bat, electric eel DNA that he's mixed with, and he became the character known as Talon, and supposedly he's like the boss of these people in the underground, and they show, like, a bunch of people that he's like, I guess, the leader of, and there are some gargoyles featured there in the book. The book does state that they're, like, clone gargoyles of the gargoyles they know. The book also states that they'll get into, them at another point in time. But basically, down in the labyrinth where Talon has all his people or whatever, he has a mate, which is right here, and she's about to have a baby, hence Elsa's niece. While that's going on, we kind of get the hint of the bad guy. Now, we don't get any name from him now, and I'm assuming we're supposed to know who this is, but they do show him and a couple of his evil, like, minions, and it's one that looks like Brooklyn, or maybe that was Lex, I can't remember, but and then a human guy that's working for him. But basically at this time he gets a call stating that Talon's about to have the baby, and if you were interested in taking a gander at this mutant kid, now would be the time, and the bad guy just states that, yeah, I'm already invested in the kid, and I'm thinking about adopting him, and the person on the phone is like, adopting, they have parents, and the bad guy's like, haha, not for long, and basically that's kind of where the book leaves off. Daytime comes, the gargoyles turn back into stone, and like I said, that's where the book leaves us off. There is a really dope preview of Darkwing Duck, which is coming pretty soon. It says in January. And it's basically like some covers, which I'm definitely grabbing this one. This is the Mirka and Dolpho cover, but I also love this, I think it is Carlo Loro who's doing the main art in the book for Darkwing Duck, and they show you some panels from the comic. Now, at the end of the issue, it does give a next up on Gargoyles and a cover preview. But in the description, that's where we got our bad guy name. Basically, his name is Thalog and Servius. I don't know who is who. I hope Servius is the gargoyle, and maybe Thalog is his little minion. But that is basically Gargoyles issue number 1. Yeah, in my opinion, it was a great issue. The art is fantastic. I want to say the art in the very beginning when they're doing the car chase, I wasn't a big fan of that. It's all like this stretchy looking, like they're going fast or whatever. But the book quickly gets away from that. It's only like a couple pages, and after that, the art is fantastic. It feels a lot like the cartoon. I love that they kind of play catch up, because for people like me that haven't seen Gargoyles in like 20-something years, it's kind of nice. So I thought it was pretty dope. Let me know your thoughts down below, if you passed it up, if you read it, and what did you think about it? What do you think's coming? How about the bad guy? Do you remember any of these, and some of the characters that I don't remember, like the cyborg and the bad guy, stuff like that? Hey, but that's my review. Comment down below. I will let y'all go. I got more reviews coming. Big week. Love all y'all. I'll see y'all later. Bye.